Hello again. We have already taken the two steps with three examples for each step. And now, before I start step three, which is planning the ideas and the expression, I think the most important part for the entire writing task. But there are some points that need to be considered before we move to that part. Number one is sorry, for opinion type topic you can plan one or both side of the opinion. That means if the question is asking you for your personal opinion, when I say both side, I mean I'm talking about side one and side two. So agree, disagree, whatever is this. Do advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Again, advantages and disadvantages. So you can see, you can plan it like um, for agree as well as for disagree. You can plan only for agree, you can plan only for disagree, right? So whatever, now what does it depend on? It depends totally on the ideas that you have, or the ideas that come at the time of answering the question, right? I'll discuss more, but this is something that you have to keep in mind. That's very important. So, for example, if the question, I'll show you one. I hope that that will help you understand what exactly I'm trying to say. I'm talking about this kind of question. So, if it is, do you agree or disagree? Whatever. Now, question is saying some people believe that unpaid community service should be a compulsory part of high school program, right? So compulsory part of, should it be a compulsory part of high school program? If you agree, then you should have point. If you disagree, you should have point. How will you decide whether you should agree or disagree? Totally depends on the ideas that crop up in your mind at the time of planning. Well, you can take any stand. For example, you can say I completely agree. That means you should have at least three ideas to support the agreement. You can say I completely disagree. On the contrary, in that case, you must have three points to oppose it. You can say I strongly agree. That means you have got 2 points for agreement and 1 point for disagreement. Or you can say I strongly disagree, or you can say partly agree and disagree. So equal number of ideas you have for both sides, right? So you have understood that. The second part is for discussion type of topic where they're not asking for your personal view. So because no personal view is involved here, so in this type of topic you have to plan the equal number of ideas for both sides. For example, discuss the causes and effects. So there should be equal ideas both for causes and effects. So there's the difference, right? In opinion based, you're free to take a side, so you can plan based on your ideas and take your stand. In discussion type, you don't have that freedom. You should have equal number of ideas for 2 or 3 specs which are asked. And finally, for opinion and discussion type of question, mostly what happens that you have to write down one paragraph for the opinion based part, and you have to write down one paragraph for the discussion based part. And now question comes that what about the discussion part? So generally you don't have to discuss two parts in this kind of questions. So either they'll ask you only causes, or they'll ask you only problems, or they'll ask you view one or something like that, right? You got the point. So discuss, for example, let me give you an example. Discuss the causes of illiteracy. So they're asking causes, so only one part. So that's you have to write, you must have at least 2 ideas for writing that. And then they're asking you, do you think that lack of unemployment is the main reason? Now this is do you think, so they're asking for your opinion. So opinion is totally different part where you have to decide what stand you have to take. But I believe that you should take one stand here with a yes and no, because you have to write only one paragraph. And I believe that equal portions should be devoted to both parts. So for discussion part 50%, for the opinion part 50% of the body paragraph should be written. So in that case you should take one stand. So you will say yes, unemployment is the main reason. No, employment is not the main reason, right? But there is an exception to this type of question, opinion discussion. Let me explain that with the question itself so that you can understand it better. So this type of question is a bit exception. Here they're asking you discuss both the views. So they're not giving you any freedom here. It's not one thing. I told you one aspect like causes or problems, something like that. But there they're saying they have given you two views, right? You can see here some people think that it is better to educate boys and girls in separate school. Others, however, believe that boys and girls benefit more from attending mixed schools. Two ideas, and they want you to discuss both the views. So here the exception is that you have to discuss both the views in two separate body paragraph, and after that you have to give your personal opinion. Now what is the take here is, because you're describing both of the views here, you can see, so when you take your personal opinion, either it will be with view 1 or it will be with view 2, which has already been written here. So you don't need any additional explanation to that. You have already proved it. So you can take any stand perhaps in the final paragraph or in the conclusion paragraph by quoting some of the parts from this body paragraph which you have supported, right? I hope that I have been able to convince you in that. Okay, so that's all from this. Now I'll see practically how to use them when we start planning the ideas and expressions. At first we'll plan the ideas and then we'll plan the expression. Okay, so that's all from this video. See you very soon in the next video.